How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Stand Focused for Jesus. Hope each and every one of you are having a blessed day in the Lord Jesus Christ, as always. With much knowledge, much wisdom comes much sorrow. This world that we live in is depressing. It is very, very, very depressing. Well, I should say it can be depressing. I'm not one to suffer from depression. I think I've only, if I remember correctly, I've only actually been through depression, like actual depression, at one time in my life, and that was the time I ended up getting saved. But what I mean from my perspective of this being a depressing world is, even though I don't suffer from depression, even though I'm not prone to suffering from depression, I understand depression. I understand the effects of depression. I understand the different things that can cause it and will cause it in this world. And we definitely live in a depressing world. We live in a very sad, sad world. It's so sad, it's so depressing that you can't even really help people these days. Like, you really want to help people. You have to judge and then judge and then judge some more before you help people, because people are so prideful. People are so prideful. Here's the crazy thing about it with what I deal with. Before we moved here, there was a homeless problem. There was a major homeless problem. The homeless would come through here. Matter of fact, for those who don't know, there was a house next door to the house that we currently have. This is before we had bought this house. The homeless had got in there arguing or whatever, and they burnt the house down. Burnt the house down because I think it was something dealing with a female, whatever. Burnt the house down. Something that don't even belong to them, because they feel like they have the right to go into a vacant home and squat, which that's crazy. But after we came, we started to clear a lot of it up. So I would say about 95 to 98% of the homeless problem is gone in comparison to how it was. This used to be the street where people would come do drug deals. You would walk down the street and you would see, needles and stuff like that. And the reason for that is because there's nothing back here. There's nothing really but land. There's only, like I said, there's only three houses on this street, and our house is the furthest, and then all the way down there's nothing else except land, which is part of the reason why my goal is to buy it up, clear it out, let them know you can't do that. It's one thing being homeless, but when you're going to be nasty, when you're going to have an attitude, when you're going to, go to be on somebody else's property when it's not yours, that's what I have a problem with. So when I see them, you can see them walking by, and I come outside and I just let them know my presence is here. And most of them, they kind of like know me because I sit in the porch and they'll wave. I don't want no problem, but don't bring your problems around here where I got my family. Don't bring your problems where I'm doing business, because you're affecting my money. And as I said in other videos, and some videos I'm going to release a little bit later, the problem isn't the house. The problem is the area. The problem is in the area because people talk. People know that this is predominantly what's known as the black side of town. They know that the homeless, come through here. People talk, and it makes it hard to do, real estate in that regard. But you deal with the problems that you have at hand, and you do what you can do. And my job is to bring value back to the neighborhood, and that's what we've done, to the point now where I can call the police, and the police will come out here. Hey, what you got going on, Mr. King? Yeah, I saw him over there. Can you go check it out? Because the property that's in question is the property across the street. They don't come on this side because I got this side on lock. They tried to camp out over here, and then I go down there and say, hey, I'm not mean about it. I'm like, hey, you can't be over this, private property. blase, blase. And if they get an attitude about it, then I just threaten to call the police on them because a lot of them have warrants anyway. And they don't want the police called on them. But across the street is where they really used to camp out at, because it's a 2 acre, 2.5 acre piece of land, and there's a whole bunch of trees you can hide off in there. They go in there and then they'll have full-blown communities. Hell nah. I can't even sit on my porch naked if I wanted to, because y'all over there, and I don't know if you over here looking at me. Because you ain't supposed to be over there in the first place. Regardless of, I'm on a porch naked or not, or, sitting on the porch in my boxers. I can do that. This is my house, this is my property, and nobody's supposed to be over there anyway except the owners. And we have the authority from the owners. If there's any problems, call us. They got to the point now, if there's any problem, you don't even got to call us. Just call the police and then call us later, and then we'll handle it. Because not only myself, but the owner of the property, we are looking to bring value back to the community. We stay in a town that's predominantly white. The other part that's known as the historic black part of town has a lot of history to it. White investors are buying those properties up, and so you already know what's coming, gentrification. That's literally across the street. Literally across the street. I can probably walk in that area, which is right downtown, in maybe 5 minutes walking. But it's, literally across the street. There's a main street coming to the city, and then once you cross over, you just walk, and then you're in the other more historic part of the community, the town, which is the historic black side of town. Now, I told y'all before about restaurant that's on the main strip, 501 Prime. You can go look it up. And I read an article by the owner where he pretty much said, I put this restaurant here because I forgot what it was, but the building was pretty much, nothing was being done with it. And the article stated that from the owner itself, our goal is to, gentrify the area. Well, let's do the math. If they put a nice restaurant, we're talking about $40, $50, $60 or more a plate, one of those type of restaurants, where you dress up, where you ride by, you see people with they Bentleys, you see people with their Ferraris, and you see people with their Rolls Royces. We talking about that type of restaurant. Down the street from where I live. Down the street from where I live. You see what I'm saying? So, if you do the math, you have that restaurant. I know for a fact that white investors are buying up the historic black district. All it takes is for one person to put a nice apartment complex there. You know how that goes. And then you see all this building going on around you. Eventually, where are they coming? Across the street to buy up property. They're going to buy the land up. And then they're going to put houses there. And then there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it because you didn't see what was coming. Now the Lord has blessed me with being able to see what's coming down the turnpike, and that's why we're in this house. So we're going to get our money regardless, but we want to buy this land up. We want to buy it up. Therefore, if they decide whatever time to come over here, they have to go through me to even get the land. And then I can bust their head. I can bust their head because, as Paul said, I rob other churches to do y'all service. You may say, well, these investors aren't part of a church. They are part of a church. They're part of the church of Satan, because most of them, they serve Satan, which is why they're greedy. It's not a matter of if gentrification is going to happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's already happening. And we want to get ahead of the game. We want to get ahead of the curve before it happens. So we deal with them, the owners of the property across the street, and we let them know what's going on, because we are all invested. We all trying to, get some money. We all trying to, put some money in our pockets, which puts money in other people's pocket, because we have more to invest instead of, historically, it's white folks doing it and everything. But the homeless, they're so prideful. It's ridiculous. You'll have people camped off in there, and you'll tell them, and as God's my witness, this happened. I want to say this happened a few months ago. Now they kind of like know, hey, we don't really want to be up in there because the police, they coming. The police ain't just coming; they going up in there with the guns drawn. I think a few times. Was it the last time they went up in there? Yeah, last time they went there, they had arrested somebody. I don't know if he had a weapon or he had a warrant, but word gets around. And like I said, the homeless problem that was over here has drastically dropped. We've gotten rid of 98% of the problem. Nobody's coming back here dealing drugs no more. None of that. And if they are, I don't know anything about it. But I circle the block, you know, as you should. You should take care of your neighborhood. But these are just the problems that you have to deal with when, you're building from the ground up. You're starting from scratch. It is what it is. Going back to the homeless, there was a situation where a guy was up in there. I seen him coming out. Matter of fact, it was two guys, and I said, "Hey, man, you can't be up in there. Y'all can't be in there. It's private property." And this guy, he got an attitude. Oh, with private property. Whose is it? You don't questioning me, getting the attitude about something that you know that you're not supposed to be on. And this isn't just an isolated incident. A lot of the homeless people, especially in this area, they are extremely prideful. Extremely prideful. Extremely prideful. It's like, I really don't even have to give you a advance warning. I can call the police because I got their number on speed dial. I'm talking about captains and stuff like that. Well, I can call and they let me know. If you got any problem, pick up the phone and let us know, and we will handle it because they're not supposed to be over there. And we know what you were doing. And they know what the owners of the other property, what we're striving to do. If you have homes and you're coming in and you're beautifying the area, then you're staying here, you want this to be a nice area. If you know about the area, which these police officers do because they grew up here, of course they want the area to look nice. I'm talking to them. I'm not running from the police no more. I talk to them. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says that He will make you to be at rest with your enemies. So you come here and you build. What does that do? That's tax dollars. Tax dollars means you got more funding to go to the police so they can do their job. Let the police do their job. They say, "Oh, your police and stuff and this and that." The Word of God tells us that the rulers and the police and everything, they are a terror to the wicked. I'm not doing nothing I ain't got no business. I ain't doing nothing I ain't got no business. Okay, I may ride around, I ain't got my seatbelt on. But them folk don't be studying that. They halfway don't be even studying when your tag expired. They'll pull you over for it. Because I see it all the time. They'll pull you over for it, and then they'll, hey, take care of it or whatever. My wife got pulled over. The tag was expired on the van, and she didn't even know it. I thought we had paid it. And this was like, I want to say, it was probably like 6 months expired tags. But I want to say it was more like 3 months. I thought it was paid. As God's my witness. I forgot the exact situation why we thought it was paid, but it ended up not being paid. She got pulled over. She was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And they showed her, "Hey, it expired. Go ahead and take care of it." We had insurance. We just thought it was paid up and everything. And then the next day or the next week or whatever, we took care of it. It wasn't nothing crazy like in some of these cities you go to. They're ready to take your ass to jail over a expired tag. Some people, yeah, they do stuff crazy, but they look for situations like that in certain towns. I've been in them where that's how they make their money. And they're going to impound your vehicle. They're going to make it hard for you. And a lot of times it's people that don't even have it. They don't give the people that don't have it any grace, but the people that got the money, they give them grace. Or we'll let you go, So this town isn't necessarily like that. They will pull you over and run your tags and stuff like that. I mean, they ain't got to pull you over now because they got the scanners and stuff. But if it's like extremely expired and stuff like that, they'll pull you over and then, hey, it is what it is. This is a tourist town, so they can only do it to a certain extent, because if your town is known for pulling people over all the time, then people aren't going to want to come. Then now you're messing with the money. And we have to understand this from a business perspective. You have to understand the town. You have to understand the city. You have to understand the state that you're living in, so you know how to move and operate in the society that you are in. Even though we're on the plantation, we're not here to not contribute to the community. We're not here to not contribute to society. We're here to contribute and contribute righteously, and in that aspect, shine the glory of the gospel of Christ. This notion that we shouldn't be involved in this, we shouldn't be involved in that, I don't agree with that. I believe that we should be involved as much as God has called us to be involved. Since I'm doing real estate and my real estate is going to continue to grow, then of course I'm going to be involved with different people. That's just the way it goes. But even if I wasn't doing real estate, I would still want my neighborhood to be kept up. I still don't want no riffraff. I still don't want all that bull job around here. Because I know everybody knows how the world works. You build, they live, they move off, the neighborhood gets run down, then generations later, they come back, they rebuild it again, and the cycle continues over and over and over. And that's just the way it goes. Because they told me that this whole block had houses on it, but if you look at it, you would think there was never any houses over here. You would think that. Um, but the homeless, man, I don't know. I know what's going on, but I don't know what's going on in that aspect because, man, people are so prideful and it's sad that you ain't got nothing. You ain't got no land, you ain't got no house, but you walk around like you own the world, like you just, the big boss. Try to tell somebody about their property. You're getting the attitude because you're on somebody's property that you're not supposed to be on. And I see these people every single day because they be, what I'm saying, close to downtown and stuff like that. Because you have the what's called the Jackson House where they go and get their food. So I see them. They used to be on the corner, but the police stopped letting them be on the corner, which I'm so glad they did that. You come in the city, you at the stoplight, and it's homeless literally, like they're living there on the corner, like at the stoplight on the main strip. I'm like, y'all gotta do something about this. And so finally they've done something about it. You don't really see them there. Every now and then you'll see somebody, but that's how they would be, and they would change shifts, literally. Same people every single day, changing shifts. One there, then the other one will leave, and then somebody else will come. You with this sign and stuff like that. Boom, boom, boom. And then I'm seeing y'all come over here and everything, like, I don't know you and everything. You got an attitude. You got an attitude, but you're on a corner asking for a handout. Like, humble yourself. And that's what's sad because we really want to help people. But if you're going to act like that, I ain't giving you nothing. You can kick rocks and keep on, get your ass ran off by the police because I'm going to call the police on you. I'm going to call the police on you. It is what it is. They call the police on us, I'm going to call the police on them. Because you got no business being up in there in the first place. No business. And it makes it worse for the police because they got to go in there. And it was a fire over there one time they had started. That could have, went bad if, fire gets too big and stuff like that. Um, you know, drug needles and everything. The police are telling me this. 'Cause I'm looking at them, and they come back over here and saying, "Yeah, we seen this and we seen that up in there." And I went up in there before to see what was going on. Um, man, it's a sad world where so many people are prideful. It's one thing somebody got some money and they're prideful. You kind of like expect that because most people that have money, they are prideful. But you got people that ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing, and they are more prideful than the people with money. That's the crazy thing. Getting attitudes, getting attitudes about stuff they have no business having an attitude about, and it's sad. It's sad because you want to help people, but you can only help people when they want help. I don't force help on anybody. Even just not with the homeless people, but just people in general. People in general are so prideful. It's like I don't even want to help you. I don't even want to help you because of your pride. Like, you're coming to me because you need help, but then you're getting an attitude about something that you have no business getting an attitude about, or you're getting an attitude because I decide not to help you. Oh, it's an oh that and oh this and oh that. Like, for real? Like, you need me, I don't need you. Like, what are we talking about here? And then when if you win or if you clap back, then they want to argue back with you. I ain't got time for that. Go do what you're doing, man. Get out my face before you upset me. Get out my face before you upset me. But I can't wait until we live in a world where it's ruled by true righteousness. I can't wait till we live in a world that's ruled by true righteousness, where we don't have to deal with these problems on this level. Because there will be problems in the new millennium, the millennial reign of Christ. But the problems will be handled accordingly. It won't be this bull jive. It won't be these dumbass laws that allow people to, in certain areas, squat on your land and almost take it, or squat in your house. Like, you literally have people around the world squatting in people's homes, and then it being hard because of the laws to get them out. Like, it shouldn't be like that. You have laws in place that allow people who rightfully own homes for their homes to be stolen. I've seen horror stories, and I'm glad I did, because I had some people try to steal our house, and some of you know about that. I was like, hell no. That's why we moved in the house. The goal was never to move in the house. The goal was to stay where we was at and sell the house. But when when them folk did what they did, I was like, nah, because I had already watched videos. I was already up the game. And this is people that was living in their homes. And then they go down to the living in their homes, and then somebody shows up and says, hey, you got to get out. Like, what do you mean? This is my house. I own it outright. They go down to the court, the city, the records people, and somebody stole their house, and the house ain't even in their name. They don't have the money and the power to fight, to find out what was going on. So whoever stole their home, they got backing from somewhere, or they know enough about the law to be able to manipulate it to their advantage, where it is what it is. So the sheriff, whatever, show up, put them out. They ain't got no house. The house was theirs. They ain't got a house no more. And somebody else is in their house. About time they try to fight it, what resources do they have to fight it? And it's sad, but I've seen it happen, man. I'm telling you, you can go online, you can go on YouTube and look up these stories about people getting their homes stolen. It's like, why do y'all even have laws in place? We talking about the news people contacting the city and saying, hey, why was this able to happen? When I knew about this and I studied it, the Lord led me to it. And I'm watching video after video. I'm like, is this real? This can't be real. And then lo and behold, I'm in a situation where somebody tried to steal our house. And I'm like, oh no. No. I can't allow that to happen. And the best move to make was to move into the house. If I'm occupying it, then it makes it harder for them to put us out. It makes it harder for them to put us out. So that's why we, for those who don't know, that's why we moved into the property. Because we literally had people trying to steal the property, trying to blackmail us. When I say, I'm not exaggerating. When I say they try to blackmail us, some people that was from this area, they used to have a house next door. It burnt down, interestingly. They know the people that sold the house to us. And that's why the couple that sold the house to us was so upset, because they know them and they went to school with them. And she was like, hell nah. Everything I did for her and everything this and that. But It's crazy how things work, right? You come into a situation and you don't even know what you're getting yourself into because of somebody got some animosity towards somebody else for whatever reason, and they want to try to take advantage of you. And this lady came in and lied, and she don't even live here anymore. Her sister stays here, but the lady that did this, and people when I taught, they said she's always been like this. Always. They said people don't fool with her because she just that dirty. But this lady made a big stink over the phone in the city. They changed the records. God's my witness. They changed the records. I don't know what she said or what she did. She didn't have no paperwork. All our paperwork, we got contracts. I can go get the contracts for this house and the land with the stamp on there. Boom, boom, taken to the city. Filed. We have for those who are in real estate, we have the abstract. It's a folder or booklet about that thick. It's about that thick. And it goes back to the original history of this house and the land. Because when we showed the lady downtown, she said, "Oh, you don't see these no more." She's like, "Yeah, we got history. We got history." The couple we bought the house from, they used to have the house under Section 8. And what we were trying to explain to the city was like, if this lady is saying this is her house, then where's her receipts showing that she was getting money from the Section 8? They got the contracts and everything. Like, look, we had the house under Section 8 for at least 10 to 15 years. Why she wasn't getting no money if this was her house? So what happened was, I don't know who she talked to or whatever, or who she scared. They literally changed the records to reflect that the house was their house. So when you went on the website and looked up the property, it no longer said the Mouses and Rhodesia, my wife. It said somebody completely different. And at that time, it was like, man, if the house is in their name, then what happens if she comes down here or tells them, "Hey, I need the locks changed," and now we can't get in our own property? Man, it was to the point where it's like, they're not getting this house. I will do something before they get this house. And all boiling down to jealousy. So when that happened, they literally tried to blackmail us. It was mainly one sister, but the other sister, she told us everything. This is why we was under contract trying to close. As God is my witness. My wife and our real estate agent go over to the house, which none of this should never happen because these dumbass title folks talking about we need this, we needed that. I'm like, it didn't make no sense to me, but I didn't know any better. I know better now. I didn't know any better. I'm like, why do we need this? It has nothing to do with them. And the lady that worked at the title company at the time, she ain't there no more. And it got serious where I don't want to get ahead of myself, but where was I at? The property had ended up being in their name. They got it changed over. My wife and our real estate agent went to one of the sisters' homes. That's what it was. The land next to this house used to belong to the sisters. It was their mother's home. Their mother's home, it burnt down. The couple that we bought the house from, they bought the land from them. And they did it doing them a favor. The couple that we bought the house from, they have receipts from when they bought the land from the two sisters. And then she said she was so upset because she was doing them a favor. She gave them more money than what the land was worth. I seen the receipts because that's how Miss Miles is. She keep receipts for everything. She keep receipts for everything. And then whatever, I don't know what was going on. The sister was jealous or whatever, or, whatever animosity. Um, she looked the house up online and said, "Oh, this house is worth this amount of money." And then she called down to the city. I don't know what she said, but she got it. She got it to reflect like the house was theirs in the system. It was saying it was their house. We went back and forth with the city, and that's the point where we were going to sue them because they changed it back because they know what they was wrong. The main lady, whenever it happened, she wasn't there, and she came back and heard about the situation or whatever. So when Miss Miles, she showed up to the downtown to the city folks, and then I went down there. When we went up there, they was already expecting us. They're like, "Oh yeah, we already know." They was waiting for us to come because they know they had messed up. You may say, "Well, how do you know they messed up, brother?" Because they admitted it. First of all, they had no documentation to be able to change it. It was just based on he say, she say. The lady stays in Atlanta and she did it from the phone. We got notarized document. We got paperwork after paperwork after paperwork, not only from us purchasing the property, but also from Miss Miles and her husband owning the property. Miss Miles married her husband. Her husband, he inherited the property from, I want to say it was his uncle. I think his uncle or somebody had raised him. That's how he got the house. His uncle he built this house. Let me make sure real fast. Hey, I'm talking to you. Miss Miles' husband. Yes. Who built this house in his family? His uncle. His uncle, yeah. So his uncle had raised him or something like that? I don't know that story. I just know his uncle built this house. Yeah. And his uncle left the house to him because they didn't have any children. Okay. So I don't know if you heard my wife, but his uncle, he built this house. And his uncle left the house to him because they didn't have any children. Just want to make sure I got the story right. So this house is steeped in history. Like there's history behind here. So you can just imagine on their side what they're going through because they know that these two sisters that they know them. They know them. They went to school with them. That they're sitting here lying. Like you talking about this is your house when my husband's, speaking from the perspective of Miss Miles, my husband's family built this house. Black folks built this house. They raised a family in here, and things come full circle. Here we are, raising a family in this house right now. I want to do right by them because they didn't have to give us an opportunity. But I also want to do right by everybody, not just them. And she came over, she seen the house, she's like, oh my God. She was just so proud of us as a young black couple because Miss Miles, Miss Marianne, she's old enough to be our mother. And she sees us as her children. When she come over here, how the baby's doing, talking about, she, which would be her grandchildren, because she sees us as her children. Now, Miss Miles, she has her own children, but she literally sees us as her own children. She treats us as her own children. She giving us game on this, about this, about that, about this, about that. She come over. Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I'm like, well, I mean, you used to own it. So technically you still own it because we still owe you money and everything. So it's deeper. I'm gonna tell you, it's deeper than real estate, man. It's deeper than real estate. But like I said, the one sister, she seen the value of the property when we were selling it at the time. And she decided to want to do blackmail. And I think I didn't finish that point. My wife and the real estate agent had went over to the one sister house, which that should never happen. But we didn't know any better. We were just doing what we was told by the title company. First of all, my wife should never been involved. We should never been involved in that because that's not our job. That is the job of the real estate agent and the title company. The real estate agent was even like, I don't know about that, but she didn't know any better, which we can fault her to a certain extent because she should have took it up to her higher ups, her the brokerage that she's over. And the sister told the truth, but then when everything started rolling, she retracted her statement and said, "No, I didn't say all that. I played stupid," because she was protecting her sister because she know her sister was doing wrong. You may say, well, how do you know that it was actual blackmail? Because she said it. She said, if you give me $30,000, I'll pretty much stop being a problem. As God is my witness. True story. Give me $30,000, I will stop being a problem. She was purposely doing it. You may say, well, why was she doing all this? Because she was wanting to move back down here, but she didn't have the money to. Now, going back to the city. We're sitting down there, we got all the paperwork, and it's like, how did y'all let this happen? And they were trying to cover their butts. The city sent me a message. They called my phone. I didn't answer it. Left a voicemail. This is after we went down there, and you could say what we say raising hell. They sent the voicemail. I still have the voicemail. Apologizing. Pretty much admitting, yeah, we messed up. This should never happen. And like I said, the main lady that's over the records and stuff, she wasn't there. So whatever happened with the sister, these are black folks. I'm talking about the sisters that tried to blackmail black folks. She called in and did whatever she did to get it changed. Yelling and screaming or whatever. She was yelling and screaming and threatening everybody. She was threatening the title company. I'm gonna sue you. All this and all that. Woo woo woo. When the main lady came back, they found out they had messed up. And then after the fact, she sent the voicemail and she pretty much apologized and said that we're going to rectify this situation. I have the voicemail still saved because we're going to use it for a lawsuit against the city. We're going to use it for a lawsuit against the city. The problem is, this is a small town. It's predominantly white. Everybody know everybody. We went to the different lawyers. Nobody wanted to fool with it because it had been a conflict of interest. We had one white lady to help us, and when she helped, she was helping us. She was looking at the paperwork like, "What's the problem? Like, what's going on?" So we explained to her. She's like, "No, this can't be right. This can't be right." And she wasn't even a lawyer. She worked for the lawyer's office. She calls down there. They're talking, and then I don't know. It was just weird because she laughed, but she was laughing at something the other lady said, and she's pretty much like, "Yeah, they're right here." And so I looked at my wife. She looked at me, and then we like, okay. But she did help us. But the way she did it was like, I can only say so much to help you so much because it's going to be a conflict of interest. But she said this should have never been an issue. By the time we made it back to these different places, word had already got around that fast that, hey, these black folks out here, and they go into different lawyers' office trying to find somebody to sue the city because y'all messed up. True story. True story. It was such a crazy situation that different people that I talked to that do real estate, they were like, "Man, I ain't never heard nothing like this in my life." We sat down with the owner of the real estate company that we had the property under contract with. And they was like, "It usually ain't this hard. It usually don't go like this." I said, it's okay, even though it wasn't okay, but I said, I understand what's going on. Because we know that it was spiritual warfare. And I would say the stuff that they couldn't say because it was a conflict of interest. They're doing business with these people, so they can only do so much. That's on them. That's between them and the Most High, because they know what was going on was wrong. They said it without saying it. I'm telling you, we sitting at the table with the owner of the real estate company, and they like, what? This can't be. Let me make a few calls. The lady, the lady said that this how serious it got. I mean, you can see how serious it got. But the lady that owned the lady that owns the company, who we had the property under contract with, she said, "Hey, when we close on this property, don't worry about nothing, because if it don't go through, then I got somebody else that's willing to close on it, because it should never got to this point." She did a favor for us because she know the whole situation was wrong, and in her entire existence of doing real estate, because it was two ladies. It was the main owner, and then you could say part owner or co-owner or whatever. And their combined real estate experience is probably, I want to say, over 50 to 60 years of real estate experience. And they said in their combined experience of real estate, they have never seen anything like this before. Everybody that we talked to said, we ain't never seen nothing, we ain't never heard nothing like this. What the hell is going on? You know, I got to talking about suing the city and stuff. They was just looking, they can only say so much, because I would let them know, like, look, we ain't playing no games. How much more serious did it get? The title company sent the file to their lawyers. My bad. Their board, the big lawyers, they sent it over to them. Because the chick that was the general manager of the title company, she had messed up so bad, she was afraid she was going to lose her job. She was crying, I'm so sorry, this and that. And she was avoiding us, the big black man. Oh my God, he finna come blow the building up. Even though I wasn't about to blow nothing up. So don't flag me for terrorism, even though y'all got me on the list anyway. But that's why she was avoiding me. And I sat in the office for like an hour. I said, you gonna talk to me, let me know what's going on. And she let me know what's going on, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We working on it, blah, 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 blah. I'm so sorry, this and that. Because it should have never reached that point because of her incompetence. Doing stuff that she had no business on. All she had to do is set her pride aside. Okay, I don't understand this. I don't understand it. Let me call somebody to see what's going on. Now you in trouble, which is why you don't work there anymore. She don't work there no more. As God's my witness, she do not work there no more. She got fired over this. This is how serious it was, because it went up to not only the regional manager, but it went up to the president. We was on the phone with these people that own the company. They said, hey, we're going to send it over to our lawyers. The lawyers, they had, their meeting or whatever. They looked it over and they like, what the hell is going on? Why did this happen? That's why the chick that was the general manager of the title company, that's why she got in trouble and got fired. Because it should have never, it was all her fault. It started with her. They're like, why did you do that? The paperwork was good. You were doing extra work that wasn't required, which opened up a can of worms. Now, remember, this is while the property's under contract. And for those who don't know, the people that were buying the house, they were living in it. The people that were buying the house, they were living in it. The woman that was buying the house, she moved from Oregon to buy this house. Had her Penske truck full of her stuff, had moved in, was paying us rent until, we was able to close. Because, no, my bad. We let them get in there early and say, okay, you got to give us a portion of whatever, blah, blah, blah. We thought we were going to close on it. And then it was extended more. So, okay, now can we work out a deal where we pay you rent until we're able to close on the property? Which, that's what they did. Because it just took too long. The lady moved from Oregon to buy our house. The house was sold, or at least we thought. The lawyers, they called the city back. As God is my witness. As God is my witness. They called the city back and say, what you did was illegal. You cannot do that. You don't have the authority to do this. This is illegal. We knew it was illegal. So now we have multiple witnesses saying, hey, this is illegal. This should have never happened. Well, you changed records. Like what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Because the bigger question is, if you're doing it with us, then what are you doing that people don't know about? Are you stealing people's properties by falsifying records and stuff like that? I'm not lying. As God is my witness, I want you to know how serious this had gotten. As God's my witness, the lawyers, they called the city and pretty much tore them a new one. The title company, at this time, we're not even dealing with the general manager. We're dealing with the bosses. We're dealing with the bosses. They told us, like, look, don't worry about nothing. We still gonna close. We're still gonna you know what I'm saying, do the insurance and stuff like that. We're gonna take care of it. We're gonna close. That's when the city got scared because they know they had already messed up and they changed it back. Because they didn't want to get in trouble. They didn't want to get in trouble, which they was already in trouble. It was you could say it still is guaranteed money, but it's getting a lawyer to take the case. It's getting a lawyer to take the case. And at the end of the day, if we don't get paid from that, then we're gonna get what's ours regardless. Because the Most High gonna make sure of that. So fast forward, the title company still says they're gonna take the case. Because we had told them everything, and they looking at the records, and they're like, why is this property in these people's name? It's not their property. It never was their property. How can they just go in here and just on he say, she say, with no paperwork, no exchange of money, because you gotta get that money to exchange. That money, even if it's just $1, the money has to exchange when it comes to real estate transactions. No money change hands with these people that claiming that this is their house. They said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We still gonna close. So we didn't got all this figured out. All this figured out. Ready to close. The mortgage company, Bank of England, the local branch here. This is their last deal that they're gonna do. Now, I didn't know all this. I didn't know that they take these mortgages, usually about 5 of them, and they package them together, and they turn around and they sell them on the stock market. I didn't know none of this. But I learned fast. Okay, I see. This is part of the reason why they want you to close at a certain time, 30 days or whatever it may be, because it's packaged with other loans. Now, the lady that was buying the house, it was her and her mother. Both their names were on the property. They was approved for about, I want to say, $180,000. They had a good relationship with the mother. She had or has a good relationship with this Bank of England, and the guy that pretty much was over this branch, or I don't know if he owned it or whatever, but he was in a position of power. At all houses, they chose our house. We're going to close. We're thinking everything good to go. We get the word, hey, the money is pretty much sitting in escrow. It was a Friday. I want to say it was a Friday or Saturday. This is after we got the property back in our name. Everything ready to go. I reach out to a few brothers and sisters in Christ that have been doing real estate longer than me. I reach out to a few people that are, you could say, worldly. They've been doing real estate longer than me. And they said, oh, congratulations. For real? Congratulations. You just gotta go sign your paperwork, pretty much. I sent them over the actual documents. Money sitting there ready to go. Like, everything. But in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm excited, but at the same time, like, after all this, I don't know. I think I even told my wife, I said, it's gonna be some. I feel like it's gonna be some bull jive. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and ask her real fast. Hey, baby. You remember when the money was supposed to be sitting in escrow and we were about to close that following Monday or Tuesday? Yes. And what do you remember what I said? Did I say something? Did I say something like I still feel like it's gonna be some bull job or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think you were saying it.
Yeah. But yeah, we was literally supposed to close on that Monday or Tuesday.
Monday.
Yeah, the Monday they said everything was good to go. The money was sitting there, was just waiting for us to go sign the paperwork, right?
Right, and then Monday ended up being Tuesday, and then Tuesday ended up being never.
Yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, that's what happened, y'all. I just felt like it was gonna be some bull job, and then like you said, we were supposed to close on that Monday. Everything was scheduled. It was scheduled for us to go in there and sign the paperwork. It was scheduled for them to go sign the paperwork, and then the rest is history. It didn't go that way. Monday turned to Tuesday, and Tuesday turned into never, because the bank, they all of a sudden, we just read the inspection report and this and that and this and that. Like, what the hell are you talking about? We gotta check this. We gotta check that. You're supposed to have been done this. And if it was an issue, then we could have got it fixed or settled or whatever it was to satisfy what you need so we can close. We never closed because the bank, they wanted certain things for the property that we were not coming out of pocket to pay. And we were like, well, we're not paying that because y'all should have negotiated that or said that before. What it was the house was an excellent deal. At that time, we were selling it for $100,000, but the property was worth more than $100,000. The people that were buying the house, they were literally coming into a situation with positive equity. They could have closed on the house, and then 30 days later, or a month later, a month or 30 days, or 2 months later, whatever, they could have turned around, sold this house, and made a profit. We were selling the house to them with positive equity. It's not that they didn't want the house, not that the house is about to fall apart and stuff like that. It's just the bank. Come to the banks. If they want certain things, then hey, you're gonna have to do it. And they wanted us to do it, and we was like, nah, we ain't doing it. Y'all can do it because we already giving you a deal. We're already giving you a deal. You lied to us to even get into the property, and we were doing you a favor. So it's on y'all. And the crazy thing is, they were willing to do it, but their bank couldn't give them a guarantee that they were going to be able to close at a certain time period. Now, at this time, she's been in the house for about 3 months. When they found out that they weren't going to be able to close, they even tried to stay in the house longer. Like, hey, can we pay you more rent until we can figure this out and close on the property? I said, nah. Y'all already pushed me back because the house was supposed to have been sold by now. This is when the real estate market was off the chain. The real estate market was off the chain. So we're like, man, we can sell the property. We can go to property number 2, number 3, number 4, which is, where technically we're supposed to be when you look at it from that aspect. That's why I say Satan got power, man. Yes, God allows these different things to happen, and I see why, so I can learn what I need to learn. But don't think that Satan don't got no power, because he sent these people to do this. He sent these different people to do this, and God allowed it. God allowed it for the greater good, for the greater purpose. Because I know certain things I'm not allowing. I'm not going through that. This has been the hardest real estate deal ever for me. And, I haven't done too many real estate deals, but talking to people and doing my research in regards to what I know, if I can deal with this, then I can deal with anything. If I can, renovate a house when lumber is $9 for a 2x4, and I still have positive equity, that's unheard of. My ROI is unheard of. Then what I'm gonna do when the market stabilizes somewhat, which the market has stabilized somewhat because lumber is not $9 for a 2x4. It's went back down. I'm gonna I'm gonna tear the roof off, and this is what Satan doesn't want. You have a believer who's married to a believer, who's surrounded with believers, and truly has the power of God, that is doing real estate, is doing it the right way. You put that type of money in my hand, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to grow it even more. Which means I'm going to take it, I'm going to invest more into the ministry. I'm going to invest more into the brothers and sisters in Christ, which is, the devil doesn't want that. So, the deal fell through. And we ended up just moving into the property because we didn't want any, we didn't want any issues. Because at that particular point in time, right when the deal fell through, the property was still in the sister's name. But like I said, the title company said, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We're still gonna, issue insurance and issue, what we need to issue to make sure we can get this property closed." And then after the deal fell through, hey, you're on your own now. And then we spoke about to the Miles, and we were advised to, at that particular point in time, just take the property off the market until we can get this figured out. And I was like, okay. And then that's why I got to thinking, like, man, what happens if she come down here she don't even come down here, she just gets somebody to change the locks, and we can't get her own property. And that's why I made the decision, they're not going to take our property. And then shortly after, the city went ahead and changed it. But I wouldn't take no chance. I wouldn't take no chance. It would have been hard for them to do it when we had the lawyers and stuff like that, and I was over here every day anyway. But now I don't have the backing of the people. I wasn't willing to take that chance because it's not only my money invested in this property, but it's other people's money invested in this property. And here we are. Here we are. We took it off the market, and at the time also, my wife was pregnant with a third child. We said, it's best also for her to be over here, to be in a better environment, clean environment for the baby to be born. And then when the baby is born, we'll put the house back in the market. Fast forward, baby is born, Kelsey, house back on the market. But now we dealing with another set of problems because the market is completely different. The housing market is completely different in comparison to what it was then. And, it is, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we just keep on doing what we're doing our part, remaining faithful, remaining patient, because we see different doors, different opportunities opening up. And what I believe is the blessing that we are going to receive, the blessing that we're going to receive later is going to be greater than what we will receive because the property is worth more now. The property is worth even more than what it was before. I think we got it listed, I want to say 125. So in comparison to having it listed for 100,000, it's listed for 125,000. Sound good to me. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that the people that were buying the house, they were initially doing FHA, and the FHA inspector had to come out, and she was tripping over some bull job that had nothing to do with nothing, had nothing to do with the integrity of the house. She was talking about, oh, the paint right here and this and that, which it was just basic stuff. So when the people that bought the house, they moved in, when we allowed them to do it, they fixed, it's like wood in the back that needed to be painted. The doors, like one or two doors, needed to be hung up. Nothing serious. The FHA inspector, she ended up quitting because she couldn't get in here and do her inspection. She said, I'm not doing the inspection when the property is occupied. What are you talking about? Nobody's supposed to be in there while I'm doing my job. That has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with the potential buyer. You need to take that up with your the bank that sent you. So they had to end up switching it over from FHA to a conventional loan because the FHA officer, she quit the job right when we're supposed to be closing. Forgot to tell you that. But what it boils down to is people's pride. You got people with money that are prideful. You got people with no money that are prideful. You got people that are wise that are prideful. You got people that are dumb that are prideful. Because these people didn't really know what the hell they were doing. And they are in a position of power, and that's what upsets me. It's like, these are people that got to rule over us, Lord? Like, oh my God. I'm speaking to the banker and telling him this and that, this and that. Like, here's the law right here. Here's a 22-page document that I wrote up showing you why the lady that you hired don't know what the hell she's talking about. Thank you for sending this over, Mr. King. It definitely helps. It definitely gives me clarification. But shouldn't y'all know this? Just because I don't have the money don't mean that I don't know nothing. But pride, man. Pride everywhere. You want to help people, want to do right by people. And even if they want to be prideful, we still must stand by what we believe. Even when we suffer for it. And that's what happened. We're suffering for it because this house is supposed to be sold. This house is supposed to be sold. We're supposed to have built 3 or 4 or 5, 6 properties after this property and own multiple pieces of land. Is that the case right now? It's not. It's not. Yeah, we know that God is still in control, and He allows these things to happen for His reason. Will we give up? Absolutely not. Will we back down? Absolutely not. We will remain patient. We will remain faithful. Just like the disciples of old. They thought Christ was coming in their lifetime. He didn't come. We believe that Christ is coming. We believe that Christ is coming in our lifetime. What if He doesn't come in our lifetime? Are we going to fall away from the faith? No. So am I going to fall away from what the Lord has shown me and what the Lord has blessed me with because of a situation like that? Absolutely not. I'm going to remain faithful. I'm going to remain patient. I'm going to continue to, educate myself and do everything I can in my power to continue to strive toward the goal. And the rest is in the hands of the Lord God Almighty. But what I won't do is I won't be taken advantage of. I won't be put down by prideful people. I won't let the blessing that God has given me be in vain. I'm gonna stand up for what's right. I'm gonna stand up for what's true. I'm gonna do all these different things. But I guess I gotta get off here now because feel like I'm starting to ramble. Yeah. So with that being said, God bless each and every one of you. In Jesus Christ's name, as always, stay focused for Jesus. And as you know, the truth is not debated, it is declared.